two fighters that we want to see together, and it looks like Kamaru Usman, the champion of the welterweight division, looks like his opponent was going to be Colby Covington.
Dude, I mean, usually whatever Dana White says is in cement when it comes to the UFC. You know, he's had doing all these video rounds with the new 7-year deal. He's doing a whole bunch. We heard this story before. Woodley was supposed to fight Colby. He was supposed to be the number one guy. I hope it's this time. I think in Vegas during that UFC 235 fight week, they figured it out. They're on some mutual ground. I hope we get Colby back in the octagon.
It's about time. You know, we've seen him everywhere else in the world. You know, he's taken the excuse me. He's taken that. He's taken that pro wrestler approach. Let me just trash talk. You know, and Usman actually said it too. He's on the Rogan podcast. He did mention that, like, you know, everyone has their shtick, and no one's really taken it to that level yet. Covington is at that point where that has gotten him to where he is. And I think we all can recognize that too. Now, listen, you want to compare Usman and Covington, they both beat similar guys. Oh, right?
100%, man. I loved how Rogan corrected Usman. I was like, dude, he did kind of beat these guys. He didn't say he beat the same guys you beat before you beat him.
Did it, right.
And did it better and with more style.
I will criticize Covington again to this day that he got very lucky with the Damian Maia fight. That was odd. That was odd that Damian Maia decided to not try to take him down and work his jiu-jitsu skills on him. Instead, stood 3 rounds with him, which was crazy. But that being said, right, he beat them before Usman got there.
It was the bigger fight, man. We talked about this on the last pod about how the UFC missed the opportunity there to make the big liberal versus conservative fight. Dude, you know this would have been nuts. The press conference, Woodley might have freaked out of his element, thrown the mic at Colby. Colby's a crazy man. Like, when it comes to promotion, he does a great job. What Usman said, he was like, he's undeniable, 100% the villain from everybody. You know, some people hate Conor. Some people like his shtick, like the whole, like, I'm better than you, I'm going to conquer the world. So be like, yeah, Conor, conquer me, conquer me. Some people hate that. Everybody hates Colby.
But the funny thing is, you say everyone hates Colby, but they want to watch.
Yes.
So how many people actually really hate Colby? Is it they hate his act? Listen, the guy is impressive in the cage. Give me a round. He's lost maybe one round. He's lost one fight in the UFC, and that was the only round that he really lost.
Dude, him and Usman bring similar games. Seriously,
they are.
It's like they make fun of each other, but it's like the Snoozeman or Colby Queefington. They bring the same wrestling
fighter
style with awful punching power. I'm like, what?
Well, that was the thing that was so impressive about Usman and Woodley is that Usman shut everything down, never allowed Woodley to get. I mean, they were close to each other, but he never was able to get that punch off. That up close one punch knockout power was never seen with
great
Tyron
strategy.
Woodley.
It was boring, but it was a great strategy.
Well, and that's the thing. You know, we talk about. You talk about Tyron Woodley is one of the most impressive welterweights ever, but everyone criticizes how boring his fights are. But that's what it takes to beat him, and that's what it took for Woodley to beat his opponents. Usman put on a show, but it was boring as hell to watch.
I agree with you, man, but it's the way the freaking media shifts it. Rogan is just like gushing over Usman's performance, the most dominating performance I've ever seen. And then you have Dana White after the Damian Maia just criticizing, yeah, I think that was a boring fight. Yeah, Woodley's never going to fight GSP. And these idiots on Twitter and social media, they're like, yeah, you're right. Meanwhile, dude, Woodley, it has this freaking unbelievable knockout power. He performed better against Thompson twice than Darren Till could have ever imagined.
Right. No,
I'm
you're
confused. Rogan at least checked Usman for a second to make him remember how good Woodley is. Dude, that Robbie Lawler knockout, people forget, man. He shut down the boogeyman.
Dude.
That was phenomenal.
That was phenomenal. That's right.
Ben Askren barely made it out of it alive.
And you know, that again, like we talk about the welterweights, there are so many other options. So is Covington going to get the first shot? Of course, I think he should, because I think it's just going to be a moneymaker for the UFC. When he fights next, it's what you got to do. You know, he'll make ton of money, and as a headline fight versus Usman, should have been Woodley, but no. I mean, Askren, we want to see him fight, but he's not fighting Jorge Masvidal, I'll tell you that much.
No.
That's not happening. He would have fought Till, sure. Masvidal's a different beast. You don't need that fight. You put Masvidal up against, it's It's not going to be Usman next for Masvidal either. I think it's going to be Santiago Ponzinibbio.
I like Masvidal figuring out that, dude, I just love this freaking division. You wrote an article on it, radio.com, like,
Thank you.
the welterweights, baby. Yeah. But it's, dude, Masvidal with Leon Edwards, they're both good talkers. The UK guys are always good talkers. And now they have this backstage beef. I know it's a step back and a risky fight for Masvidal, but if the price is right, I think I saw he got like $200K for this fight. Not freaking bad, but if you bump it up, him versus Leon Edwards could headline in the UK in the fall. I think that's a fantastic fight. And you're going to hate this.
I will.
You sound like my wife. Ben Askren versus Marty Usman, man. Please make that happen.
God.
Split the money, because if you do Colby Usman, you lose out on the Colby Woodley. I think if you do a 3-round co-main event, and if somebody gets hurt in the main event, fill them in. But do Askren, Usman, do Colby versus Tyron on the same card. I think that's really fun. I mean, we're really losing the order here.
Do Masvidal and Edwards in the same fight too now? All three?
Dude, that's an amazing pay-per-view. I'm sold.
I'm so anti that.
What do you want?
Listen,
what do you want?
I don't mind the Tyron Covington thing because I do.
They have their separate, right?
That is more. That is the bigger fight between the trifecta between Usman, Woodley, and Covington. I think the Woodley-Covington makes the biggest buzz because they really do hate each other.
Yeah.
There was a lot of animosity towards each other.
Tyquil.
Yeah, and it just it was building up, and there was a fight that should have happened. But that should have happened for the belt. So it's like Dana White's mentality is, if you're not there now, you're not ready, I'm moving past you. So next up in line, that's why I see the Covington versus Usman, because Woodley's not going to get the next title shot. We know, because just that he's got to recover from some injuries and et cetera. Some other stuff has to take, and Usman's got to recover too, mind you. He came out of a double hernia surgery just recently.
Dude, unbelievable with the freaking walking boot. But I mean, what the hell does Ben Askren go like? Is the UFC going to try to shoehole him in with that rematch? Are they going to force his hand?
No, I mean, that's a possibility. It is a possibility.
If we're going by the media, Rogan's starting to lean towards he got the submission. Maybe there's some miscommunication between Herb Dean and Askren, and he's okay with that finish.
Why not try to put him against Damian Maia? Like, I don't understand why that doesn't happen.
They are doing Maia versus Sanchez. That's the talks. I do like that.
I know. You talked about that last. We talked about that last week, too. But I would think that Maia,
that'd be fun.
Maia and Askren would be the two juggernauts. They're like, hey, you're the best wrestler. I'm the best jiu-jitsu artist in this division. Let's see who's got the better ground game.
I promise you this is the last time I'm going to say this name. Another great jiu-jitsu artist. I promise you this is the last time I'm going to mention their
Diego
last
Sanchez.
name for a while. Another Spaniard. I don't know if he's Mexican or not. Nick Diaz versus Ben Askren.
Yeah. That's not happening. He's not coming back. That's not enough money for him. You talk about them not getting paid last episode. It's not enough money for him. For Ben Askren, that has to be. I don't know if it's going to be. In order for Nick Diaz to come back, he's probably got to headline a pay-per-view or co-main a pay-per-view. He's not headlining a fight night. That's for sure.
Okay.
Maybe
it's the last time I say the name.
Maybe a UFC on ESPN1. Maybe.
That'd be fun. That's not a bad idea,
but he's still got to get paid. He's got to get paid a lot, and I don't know if that's going to happen, dude.
If Masvidal doesn't want Edwards, and that's not big enough of a nut
it's not
for him.
Enough for nothing. But Edwards trying to talk a lot of smack for that. Listen, Edwards, you look at Edwards' rise. Okay, he hasn't really put on those dominant performances. He did beat Cerrone. I will say that. But his performances have not been one that I've sat there and been like, oh, my God, look at that. He killed him. He crushed him. I walk away going, I want more from Leon Edwards. I do. I want so much more. Tyron Woodley gets a bad rap for having boring fights.
Yeah.
Leon Edwards has boring fights. He's just a pointer. And Tyron's a champ, and I for some reason I put him on a different level because the level of opponent he had was so impressive that I understand his pointing factor. Gunnar Nelson is not on the level of Tyron Woodley.
Dude, I'm with you. If you're a champ, you're allowed to point the system and just keep your career because, dude, we know just on the outside how freaking hard it is to get this belt, maintain it, deal with all the pressure and media obligations. Like, if GSP wants to just wrestle, if Tyron Woodley wants to outpoint, God bless them for keeping the belt as long as they did. Woo! But if he wants to outpoint Masvidal, and dude, if he makes Masvidal look boring and he just outpoints him for 3 or 5 rounds, whatever the matchup is, then I gotta give him credit. Then he's just the pointer. You know, there's the Riddler, there's the Joker, and then there's the pointer.
I don't know if Masvidal's going to allow that.
But I talked about this last pod and almost every other pod about the Dana White and being in every other people's pockets. Masvidal didn't get suspended for that backstage brawl. So what if he's like, dude, I'm going to take care of you. Please, you're coming back to the UK to fight this kid Edwards. It's a fun presser. Masvidal's kind of a tweener. Does Askren want Masvidal? I would like that. But I don't think Askren wants Masvidal.
No, he does not. Askren doesn't, because he doesn't want the brawler again. He doesn't want Robbie Lawler again.
I think he's scared of him.
Rightfully so. He got clocked. He almost got killed.
Yeah.
He survived that. He wants someone that's going to be able to, give him a challenge, but not going to try to just knock his head off. Like he wants, like
Usman's safe.
Like Leon Edwards and Ben Askren would actually be a better fight for Ben Askren because the pointer, he'd find a way to engage the pointer. He's not going to get worried about getting knocked out. You know what I mean? That's a fight that Askren's looking forward to. Askren's looking forward to a Covington and Usman, not for nothing, because he's not
safe.
Yeah,
he's not worried about
Covington, especially. Listen. Usman, we haven't really seen him knock anybody out. He says it's there. He says He says that when the time is there, he'll show off.
Dude, it better be. You hear all these injuries. You're like, how much? Dude, wrestling is grueling. How much does he have left in that tank?
He's going to do 32 in May or something like that. And he's like, dude, the back's bad. The knees are bad. I mean, that doesn't seem very promising for that career, dude.
I know.
These young killers are coming up for you, bro. Forget about it.
Sounds like such a good guy, too, honestly. It's like, he sounds like a nerd, though. It's like, I don't want to get a beer with Usman, but I respect his grind. But did you hear the part where him and John Jones were at the party?
When they were watching UFC events?
Yeah, sometimes in community college or something. Yeah.
I think I might have caught that part.
They said it was 2005.
Right.
Usman and John Jones watching a pay-per-view event. And Usman's like, oh, I'm just so happy to be in the room with the other wrestlers and athletes.
Right.
And, I was like, the good follow-up that Rogan didn't ask. So what was John doing during this party?
Right. No, he missed. He forgot to bring that up. That is true. What type of activities were you guys involved in? No, he did not bring that up.
Behind the curtain with Mr. Jones.